2,000. That's a big number.
What happened is we had this purple carpet where the players came out opening night and a jersey exchange going on, and we had a couple hundred jerseys. And it was actually Coach Hardy and myself walked out. We kind of started walking through the line, and fans were talking to us. And, I'll never forget, a fan was there with a Derek Fisher jersey. I was like, what are you going to get? And it was right when our white mountain jerseys had just come out. And it's like, I don't know, I'm deciding between Lowry or Ace Bailey, and this is what I'm doing. Or I want a Keontae jersey. And it kind of meant more than just that jersey. And look, I don't want their old jerseys. What am I going to do with it? It's actually more of, there's got to be a process. But at the end of the day, as an organization, what can we do to give back to our fans? And especially around Christmas time, Ash and I wanted to do something, and watching all of those folks get that jersey and afterwards, it was pretty cool. And then having them, we enabled a few people to go up and sign it. And that's kind of where the idea came from. It's like, I wonder if we could actually do something that's kind of never been done before.
What do you do with the old jerseys?
I have no clue, because some of these that you get in, like you're looking at and it's not about the old jersey. It's about just getting these in the hands. And to be honest with you, we just want to give a Christmas present to 2,000 people. Our fans really took us to this Purple Mountain and mountain basketball, and I think it's here to stay. And we had to go through some pretty unpopular times to get there, but I'm a believer in iteration, and we're constantly iterating. With the Mammoth, we came out and got it right. We just went right to the fans at the beginning, and it's beautiful. We couldn't be more excited of where we ended up with Purple and Mountains, and we want those out. I mean, it's 2,000 people in the arena, more wearing purple and our jerseys. And when you look out in the bowl, it looks pretty cool when everyone's in uniform.
What have you learned from the Mountain menu, and how much that means to your fan base?
Well, I think the rest of the NBA has copied what we've done. And, I come from a feedback background, and, water at $6 and $5 a bottle was the number one thing our fans thought was not a great experience. And the problem is you're contracted with vendors. And so, similar to the jerseys that we're doing, it's how do you develop a relationship with your partners where you're aligned for the same experience, even if it hurts the bottom line. And so going with Levy, for example, and presenting our case to say, hey, look, you do a great job, and we have all of these different vendors, whether it's J-Dogs or Cubbies or Chick-fil-A, they're all selling water too. And so how do you get everyone to come in, or a hot dog or something, and be able to offer something that's affordable, and getting everyone kind of singing from the same hymn book is like, hey, this is what we have to do. And I think looking back, it was pretty incredible. And it's kind of been adopted by the entire NBA now.
The Jazz Bear's been out there forever, since the early to mid 90s. And you're rolling out a brand new mascot for a professional franchise in the same building as the most iconic mascot in Utah, and arguably in the league, arguably for many people all across the nation. What has that been like in terms of how you felt that the fans have received Tusky into their lives?
Well, anytime you launch anything right now, I remember when we did the fan vote for the name of hockey, I was on Pat McAfee, and McAfee's like, you're really putting this out on the internet? Do you know what it's like out there? And so anytime you release anything, 60-40 positivity is probably a win. And so when Tusky came out, I remember I hadn't seen Tusky, and our governor was at the game. We hadn't seen him, and I was asking around, has anyone seen what this mascot looks like? I had seen a picture on my phone, but I've been in this long enough that the phone's very different than when something shows up in real life. So we went back into the dressing room, and I was with my kids, and I said, we got to see Tusky before we just roll it out on the ice. And we went in there, and Tusky, because you can kind of mess that one up in a couple different ways, but like Tusky was there, and I was looking at it, but then I looked down at my 9-year-old, 11-year-old, and 13-year-old, and their eyes were like they'd seen Mickey Mouse. And I was like, all right, nothing else matters. Like, it actually doesn't matter what I think about Tusky. And it's a little bit that way with our jerseys and everything else. Like, it's really about what our fans think. The mascots are for the kids. And, like, just, I hate to be that blunt with it. That's exactly what it's for. And it's been incredible. It's been absolutely incredible. And I actually think the entire brand launch of hockey could not have gone better. The fans voted for it. Mammoth trended up. The mascot, the color schemes, like, and it's hard. It's hard to launch a brand publicly in today's world. And I think that, it's been pretty cool to see the adoption, and, we love wearing the stuff, and it never gets old looking at that logo mark of our Tuss and Tuss Up. It's pretty cool.
I drive by Southtown every day. I'm sure you do too. How are things looking there? When can fans really get that full experience? Because that's another big fan drive for you and SEG. And I mean, you went head first in Sandy, Utah.
Sandy is truly the kind of the belt buckle of the Wasatch Front, if you actually geographically look at it. And, what we're building there, I think I was in the facility yesterday, and we had a partners event with 600 people that came in and skates. Everyone's going to be able to go and skate on the same ice that our players do. There'll be a fan shop, and we'll keep expanding in the mall because, we have this space. And so, basketball will be done in a year and a half, and we look at kind of how that plays out, depending on how fast we go. There's really nothing like it in sports, and where you've got two teams with their separate worlds, but also the synergies of coming together. And I think we've seen a little bit of that downtown at the Delta Center as like separate worlds, but it's kind of where we meet. That will probably be, if we do it right, the number one place to interact with the brand. We'll go watch the shows at the Delta Center, but that's really the lab. And where community can come, where junior jazz can come, where junior hockey. I mean, there's 10 hockey locker rooms in there for people to play. And it's pretty daunting to think that, like, okay, I'm on the same ice as Clayton Keller, and you can watch practice and come in. And so we're kind of trying a lot of these new things out. I mean, I don't think anyone's done this with two teams, but it's Utah, and it's kind of what Utah does.